Welcome to the Reinvented Life with Pamela Chanel David. Do you want to step up your game? Pursue your dreams. Be the best version of yourself. The Reinvented Life is here to help. The Reinvented Life is about courage. It's about staying relevant. It takes grit. It defies gravity. It's about taking inventory of where you are today and where you want to go. Embrace change. Make things possible and reinvent your life. Call in with questions at 888-994-4995. Now, it's time to reinvent your life with Pamela Chanel.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Reinvented Life. I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday weekend, that it was happy, that everyone was safe, that you had a good time, hopefully with loved ones. And we're heading back into life here. We're heading back into what I would say most people call their routines. And today's guest is a huge gift for everyone that's listening and everyone that's watching, because she will bring to light and to life things that are outside of most people's routine. I've known Heidi Hazen, who I'm about to introduce you to, for about a year, and I can honestly say she has had the greatest and most profound effect on my life. So let me bring her on and introduce you to Heidi Hazen. Welcome to the Reinvented Life show, Heidi.
I'm so excited to be here. This is a lovely opportunity to connect with you in a different way than we normally connect.
Yes. Well, it certainly is. And you are such a gift to the world. And I would be remiss if I didn't bring you on this show, because I feel as if you have a message, you have a light about you, you have a contribution about you that I just can't wait to share. Most people, I believe, don't really understand what hypnotherapy is, how you have not only just embraced this, but brought this into existence, in my mind, in one of the most unusual and profound ways. It's so empowering. The work we've done together, the guide that you are, the light that you are in my life. And when you speak of reinventing, part of reinventing is expansion, and expanding into a realm that, I have to be honest, I never even knew existed. So with that, I'd love to ask you a little about the origins of this. I know it's been a journey for you to get where you've get. Start a little bit with the background of where you've come from and how your journey led you here.
I'm going to give you that 30,000 foot view so that we're not getting granular, because we could go granular. But I had a really bumpy childhood, lots of change, lots of different things happening. And, flash forward to becoming a young adult, I was sort of, struggling, lots of anxiety and depression and just not knowing who I was, and seeking those traditional healing modalities like therapy and, journaling and reading books and trying to apply principles and things like that. And, things like that can move us forward for a time, and then they just kind of lose their oomph. And I got married and was in a platonic marriage for 10 years and knew that I needed to I knew that I needed to change. I had sort of one of those midlife awakenings, it's like, wow, if this is what it's going to feel like and be like for the next 40 years of my life, I can't do it. I ended up with, I was halfway to adrenal failure. I was just overgiving and I was out of alignment and I didn't trust myself and I wasn't trusting my intuition. And I I ended up getting divorced, and in a beautiful way. We have a beautiful co-parenting relationship and a lot of respect and love for one another. But it was in beginning to trust my intuition that I discovered there has to be something else. Like the things that I've used so far to get here aren't enough to take me to the next place. So I trained to become a hypnotist, and I do hypnotherapy. I call myself a hypnotist because of just each state is different, and that one is acceptable in every state. And when I discovered the profound tool that is hypnosis, that allows us access to the place that creates and stores every moment of our life, our beliefs, our limiting beliefs, our habits, our fears, all of that stuff is held within our subconscious mind. And if we are not accessing the subconscious mind, we can't work in it. You cannot work on the subconscious while you're conscious. You can't do that. It's like being on the outside of a department store and looking through the window. That's the conscious, is like, I'm outside looking in. I can see that probably happened because of these experiences I had, but I'm on the outside. I can't really affect it much. I might be able to tap on the glass or get this thing to fall, or, through, I don't know, sheer will through the window. That's working consciously to try to work on something that is just over here and it's accessible, but how we have access is through hypnosis. And so we had to demystify. I had to really understand, like, oh, I never had a thing that was like hypnosis. I'm out of control. I never had any of that in my mind, but that is prevalent. We have Hollywood hypnosis where people are putting people on stages or doing it at a bar and bringing up volunteers as like entertainment. And that can be done for that, but it is also access to the place that the roots of your beliefs exist. And so I trained in an advanced transformational modality, which I practiced in for several years, very by the book. And then I was led to create something. I had to let those walls fall down, and I had to expand it into what is now a channeled healing modality called the Soul Forward Method, which is combining spirituality. I'm working with your soul. I'm working with your soul's purpose and what it's come here to experience, to heal those experiences that are limiting, because the human feels limited by what it's experienced. And we try to heal that through those traditional modalities of therapy and counseling and journaling and podcasts and books and things like that. But we've got to heal it authentically, and we've got to heal where it's stored in our energetic body, in our nervous system, in our subconscious. And when we do that, we allow the soul to come forward. It came here to have those experiences, but we've got to alchemize. We have to heal them in a specific way, and it happens like this, because we don't have to spend years. I mean, people come in and transform in 45 minutes. Because even if they've spent, decades or their entire lifetime in therapy, and they come in and it's like, right, but if you're working on the outside of that department store window, trying to, oh, well, this is there and I'll try to pretend it's not there. I'll try to do this. And then to just go in and change what is in that display happens like this. And it is a shift in perception. It is absolutely this, like, it really is that fast. It is that profound. It is that transformative. And that is what my soul has come here to do. I have come here to be that light that shines, to activate the light that is within you. It's to expedite the healing, evolution, and ascension of our soul and our human experience, because we've got work to do. Like, Pamela, you've got work to do, and not hard work. It's like you are here to be a more authentic version of you. And that requires that we heal certain things that allow your soul to come forward and lead you for the rest of the life that you are here to live.
That in and of itself is a gift to humanity, to know that that is even available. And as you know, I can speak to this personally because I've been through the work with you. When you talk about the fact that in 45 minutes and in an hour that we have spent literally decades on, many of us, to reinvent, to transform, to embrace that change. It was absolutely phenomenal, for lack of any other word, for me to have these experiences and continue to have these experiences with you, Heidi. It is exactly what you said, is a peek from the outside into the inside. And in the Reinvented Life, I've developed a method that actually supports that. It's so in alignment with what you're talking about, which is working from the inside. And so that what we manifest from the outside is more aligned. But I will honestly say that my work has become so much more effective now that I've worked with you. I have, in my own reinvented journey, been able to come so far because the answers are already there. But as you say, we do not have access to them. So no matter how much we're working to reinvent, until one has the experience with you, it is difficult to get a grasp on what are the right next steps. And that is, as having the experience with you now, and I cannot wait to go forward with the new experience here in a couple of weeks, is Soul Forward, is so important, because what it emphasizes, it is that it is all within us. And
100%.
that is support that you give in each and every one of us. So I know that you have now transitioned to the term Soul Forward, although the work's been that all the time. If you could explain what that means now to you, and what you've put together since even it started as the Gathering a year ago.
Yeah, the Gathering a year ago, which you were in that foundational, that beginning work. And I'm so excited for you to come back into this next round beginning on the 19th, because it has iterated, expanded, evolved. I have a direct line to the higher consciousness, and I'm a healing channel. So what has come through, part of my agreement in being a conduit of this new way, this sort of a new way of healing and transforming and taking ownership and responsibility and being empowered to live and create the life that we are meant to be doing and being here, is that I have to iterate as well. I have to continue healing. So as I hold the space within the container for all of these extraordinary souls to come through and do this work, they're working on me at the same time. So a lot of what came through in the last round of the Gathering, which was in the spring of this year, was a total message of, this has to go much further, and people are going to be really stretched. This isn't enough anymore. So what you experienced in the Gathering was really beautiful hypnotherapy. It was spiritual, energetic. We're working in your emotions, giving you autonomy there, healing nervous system, and doing these things. So you're right. The bones were there. And what has happened is it has fleshed out into, it's not for the faint of heart. I mean, it's the real deal. What is going to come through in this next round? So they dropped in the name. They said, this is the Soul Forward method. This is really about healing so that you can live from your soul and not from the limitations, either conscious or subconscious, of the human experience. We have to go further. I know that I am meant to be a voice and a way shower for preparing us to be a better version of ourselves, not by doing things externally, but by healing on the inside, because there's a lot of change that is happening. I mean, we've just been through massive change. We have a lot of astrological and the planet is changing. I mean, things are changing. Humanity is changing. The way we're doing things is changing. Infrastructures that have been in place for decades or, longer are falling and crumbling because it's not working anymore. So there is a massive, and people who are generally drawn to me are generally I know something's happening and I don't feel ready. And I don't want it. It's they're kind of I don't know what's happening. And I'm meant to be this, a soul who is saying like, here's where we're headed. Here's how we equip ourselves to be clearer, to be more of our light, to, because we have a ripple effect. We're all energy. So as we change, what happens is there's this ripple effect. And Pamela, you mentioned that your work has gone deeper. And I love this because I have a lot of women and healers who come into this program who are highly influential. And what they discover is their work now goes so much deeper. And that's because they have gone so much deeper that we cannot go where we haven't been. We cannot guide people or hold space for people beyond what we have been able to do within ourselves. And so this soul forward method the word that keeps, or the phrase that keeps coming through for it is that it's high octane. It's so fast and it's so quick. It's 6 sessions and it's like, one of my clients said, it's like taking the blindfold off for the first time, because as you said, you didn't know that it was there. We think that we've got everything on lock because we've done all this therapy and this personal development work. And then you come into this program, and the way that I have been guided to do this is really opening up these spaces within your blind spots that you would not even know to ask for help in. And so that's where we're headed with this modality, the soul forward method it really does make you aware, and we can't make change and we can't make better, we can't reinvent our life if we don't know where the issue is. We have to first become aware before we can, bring about change. And this is one of those things where the blinders just come off, open, and it's like, oh my gosh, I had no idea that was there. And then there's this beautiful grace and forgiveness for yourself. And what happens when we start to work in this level of self-healing, because I'm not doing it. I am holding space and shining the light, and I've created a way for you to do it on your own and then to continue doing it because you keep all the materials. You are meant to be a larger, more complete expression of your soul. And that's what this provides for you, is a way to do that, because you've already exhausted all of the things. I always say, wherever you are right now in your life, this is the place that all of the modalities you have leaned into have led to. This is it. So is this enough? Is this enough? Is this where you want to be? Is this what you want it to feel like? Are these the limitations you want to carry forward? Because everything you've leaned into has only brought you to here. We need something that goes further. And that's what has come through me.
It is so in alignment, as I mentioned, with the Reinvented Life for those very reasons. On the front of the Reinvented Life book, it says, we embrace change. And change is one of the scariest, most fearful words that people are ever going to see and speak and hear. And it took a long time to make the decision to actually put that word on the front of my Reinvented Life book, because of the fear that people have about change. And one of the most beautiful reinforcements, I guess would be the best way to say it, that I got when I first went through, and why I am so excited to be a participant in the Soul Forward method again, is that change, as people know it, people forget that it's the most natural state that you can be in. As infants grow into children, who grow into preteens and teens and into adulthood, it is all about growth, and it is all about change. And growth is a very beautiful thing. But particularly as adults, whatever their experiences had been to that point, change scares them. And what the gathering did, and now what I know the Soul Forward method will be doing, is taking down that wall for people about change and about the fear that's associated with that. So I'd love you to expand a little bit on that so that people get an understanding of why that happens, because it's real.
I love it. This is wonderful. So we have an element, I call it the bodyguard, and it sits between the conscious mind and the subconscious. And it's this bodyguard is protecting everything that's going on in the subconscious. Now, our subconscious is always taking in information, always, always, always. So in infancy, from birth and even before that to through the formative years till we're like 8 or something like that, we are being programmed. We're literally being patterned by those around us and our circumstances, situation, our race, our, where we're at in socioeconomic status, and all of our environment is being imprinted. It's being patterned into us. Then we have, and it's always there, we have this critical function, this critical factor. It's the bodyguard who is protecting everything that is within the subconscious. So if you have, and this is true for everyone I've ever worked with and probably every human being that's ever lived and ever will live, we have experiences that create these limitations and these fears and these habits that are that may manifest and look like self-sabotage, which is actually self-soothing. When we try to do something that our subconscious mind and our subconscious programming is not on board with, that bodyguard is saying like, this is a no, this is a no, this is a no. And so when we are consciously looking at, let me back up here a second. Your soul is on the other side of your subconscious programming. In between your conscious mind and your soul are layers and layers and layers of programming and patterning within your subconscious. Then we've got this bodyguard who's protecting the subconscious. So your soul is like, please, can you please heal this stuff that is stored within your subconscious so that I can come forward and we can be closer, conscious mind and soul. Can we become one and live in harmony? So this bodyguard is protecting your inner child and what your inner child has created. It is like a circus in there. It is a theme park with all kinds of things that you're like, why is this here? And the child within you is like, I had to build that out of nothing. Thank you very much. In order to survive in my circumstances, in order to be loved and feel safe and all of these things. So consciously, if you have an aha moment, or someone shows you something and you're like, wow, I need to change, or I want to change. I want to change this thing. That's a soul, like your intuition is your soul getting a message to you through all of the subconscious programming that comes into your conscious mind. And whether or not you validate that and follow through with that intuitive hit and make those changes you can identify your relationship with your soul via how you trust your intuition and that it's guiding you. But when you go to make this change, if the change you want to make does not align with, is not supported by the subconscious programming that already exists, that's why it feels scary, because that inner programming within the subconscious is saying, we don't know how to do that. We're not equipped for that. We are not programmed for that. Please don't do it, because we don't know how to change and rise to the occasion. So with hypnosis, we are going beyond the bodyguard in a beautiful, relaxing, safe way. We're going beyond the bodyguard into the space where all of the programming is. And then we just locate it via not memory, but where it has stored in your nervous system and in your emotional energy. So then we can make these changes, and it's not scary. It's not scary because we're in there with the inner child, with the limitations and stuff. And it's like, oh, I get it now. Oh, I can just change it. Oh, here we go. I just changed it. And then you come out and it has a ripple effect into the conscious.
It's absolutely incredible. And again, until I experienced this work myself, with all the prolific work we do and all the help that I am able to do with my clients and just make some profound, empowering effect on their lives, this is the missing link. I'm absolutely convinced that this is the missing link. And when you put this type of soul forward, and I'll say movement, put this method in place, it enables you to access it without, as you just heard described, the struggle. And that's the beautiful thing. People oftentimes would love to be making certain decisions or love to be making certain shifts in their life, but they're pulled back and they don't know how to do it. And so I love being a personal testimony to how this can shift everything. You mentioned the Soul Forward method. It's starting again in a couple of weeks. How do
Mhm.
people find out about it? Can you share where they can read about it, how to enroll in it? Because it is the most profound work I've ever done. I would
Yeah,
love to be able to have listeners and viewers find it.
yeah, me too. Me too. And Pamela, you're the perfect, example of this because you have done an absolute ton of work. All the things, right? You think it's all the things are going to be the right things. And then you go, "Oh, I had no idea." And this, oh my gosh. And now, and what it does is it amplifies everything you've already done. It allows it to sink even more into place because there isn't anything in the way. We have to clear out to create the capacity. And then everything that you've leaned into, all of the things that you've been applying to your life have a place to land in and be more effective. So Soul Forward Method, we are open right now for early bird enrollment, actually, as this is live. So for the next, I'm not sure how long, we start on the 19th. So we are in early bird right now. And you can read all about it. You can read testimonials on my website at www.heidihazen.com. There is a work with me tab there. It's on the homepage. It's the Soul Forward Method, the group experience. And it's 6 sessions. We run Wednesday evenings, 6 p.m. to roughly 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Wednesday, July 19th through August, whatever that date is. It is packed with stuff that you will leave with. So you keep everything that we do. So it's conscious expansion, subconscious healing, nervous system and emotional energy regulation and healing. So it's a multidimensional self-healing modality, and it's done in a group, but it's not a typical group format. It's more like a collective. We're all here doing this work, but because it's insight-based hypnosis, no one is talking out loud. You are never required to share. You can go through the entire program without sharing a word. You can do this profound self-healing transformation from the inside out without uttering a word out loud. So I would love to have anyone who's been working with you or is familiar or watching this show to look at it, to lean in, because Pamela, you're going to be in a rocket ship by the time we finish this next round, because it has expanded. It is so powerful and it's very fast. It's very fast. It's like, I'm here to activate your soul and to make a space for it to come forward so that you can do more without limitation what your soul came here to do. So come on in. We got people
Yes.
who need to do this to lead others.
Yes. I encourage, again, anyone listening, anyone viewing this, to join us in the Soul Forward Method. As Heidi mentioned, it starts on July 19th. It is all online. It is, as she mentioned, a group that comes in online, but it is one-on-one, powerful work. So it's not the traditional group as we know it. Heidi, I cannot thank you enough for spending your time with us this morning, sharing your insights. At the Reinvented Life, we are so grateful to always bring forward interesting individuals who are not limiting what they're doing in life, but constantly expanding. That's what you've done for me. That's what I have watched you do for so many others. Your work is profound. It is so in alignment of who you are, the most beautiful human being inside and out. And I thank you for your presence here today and bringing that energy forward.
Happy to do it. Happy to be here. Grateful to be here. So excited to see you in 2 weeks when we begin the Soul Forward Method.
Absolutely. To our listeners and to our viewers, have a great rest of the week. I'm so grateful that you've taken this time with us to watch this, to listen to this, and most importantly, to expand your thoughts about what your life can be. It can be reinvented, it can be changed, and it can be done in such a way that it isn't about angst. It is about grace, and it is about fluidness, and it is becoming a more joyful version of yourself. Can't wait to see you next week on the Reinvented Life.
Thank you for tuning in to The Reinvented Life with Pamela Chanel David. Tune in each week so we can work and grow together to become the best version of ourselves. Keep striving, keep dreaming, keep working, and embrace change. You may contact Pamela Chanel at info@thereinventedlife.com.